Hello everyone. Today again we are going to discuss about one topic that is called research objectives. So this topic is coming under the syllabus of research and the statistics subjects for B.Sc. as well as M.Sc. So now let's discuss about the research objectives. So already know objectives. Whenever we do any work or whenever we write any assignments, we follow our objectives. So what is objectives? Objective means they are the statement that I'm going to write that I want to fulfill at the end of the particular task. The same thing for this, and in this research, before doing the research uh, study, so the researcher is going to provide, or the researcher is going to write a statement, okay, that the person wants to accept at the end of the research. So this is the meaning of the objective. A research objective, they are the very clearly, concisely, or they have to write in the form of the declarative statements, which are going to provide and directions to to investigate the variables under study. So already yesterday or in the previous video, we have discussed the various types of the variables that need to be included according to the study types. So next, another one more meaning or definition that you can write, that is the objective of the research means they are the summarized statement. They are the summarized statements that shows what to be achieved by the end of the study. So this is the meaning of the research objective. And next, before when you formulate the research objective, so you should know some characteristics that need to be fulfilled. So what are the characteristics? First one, the research, what objectives you're going to write, it should have some characteristics, that is, it should be very specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So specific means what? So specifically, you are going to write what you want to achieve at the end of the study. It should be very active, it should be very specific. If someone say your objectives, the person should know specifically what you want to achieve at the end of the study. And next one is it should be measurable. Okay, it should be measurable and it should be attainable. So when you make the objective, make sure ki it is under your capacity to able to attain at the end of the study. Realistic, it should be able to perform, it should be able to show in your study. And next one is time bound. So when you formulate a research objective, make sure ki, how much time you have. Okay, how much time is going to get when I write a particular objective. So based on that, you're going to formulate the research objective. So next, another characteristic that you need be you're going to follow is that relevant. Okay, the objective should be compatible, or it should be related to the topic or the statement you have already formulated. It should be related to one another. It should be feasible. It should be logical, and it should be observable. It should be unequivocal as well as measurable. Okay. Next one is next characteristic is that objectives should be can be reasonably achieved within the expected time frame and with the available resources. So that whatever objective you are formulating, so already I have told you that it should be a time bound. You have to frame the time frame should be done. So you should be, for example, it should be complete by 1 year, it should be complete by 1 month. So you have to frame a time according to that which objective is going to be acceptable that you're going to write. So when you formulate the objective, make sure that what are the resources you need. It should be available easily to you. So that kind of objective you're going to formulate. Next one is whatever objective you are formulating, it should summarize. It should summarize what the person want to accept at the end of the study. And next characteristic means the objective should show what you want to obtain at the end of the study, and it should be able to test by using research hypothesis. And next, what are needs for objectives? So why we have to formulate the objectives? So in that we have first one is focus, next one is avoid, and third one is organize, and the last one is direction. So now one by one we are going to discuss. So now focus. So how the focus is going to be increased to the researcher when the person is going to do the research study. So if the person already clearly defined the objective before starting the study, the person will be able to focus on the study specific topic the person wants to, a specific objective or specific desire the persons want to achieve at the end of the study. Okay, so by clearly defining the objective, it also helping to narrow down the study to its essential. What is the essential thing exactly the researchers want to understand, that and that only the person can be focused and do the research study. Okay, so by doing this, it will also help in avoiding the unnecessary findings or unnecessary use of any kind of the resources. It means wastage of the resources is going to be also avoided by clearly defining the objective. And next, avoiding the avoid. So in that avoid, we have unnecessary data is going to avoid if we formulate the research objectives, and only necessary data will be getting if we properly formulate the research objective before doing the research study. Organization or organize. So after formulating the objectives, it will help or it will organize the study to clearly define the parts, which part you want to do first, which part you want to do the second, third, or last. Okay, so one direction or one clear picture the person is going to be get. Next one is give direction. So give direction, same thing. The well formulated objectives will facilitate the persons about what kind of research methodology to be used, how what kind of data collections method to be used, what kind of sample method or sampling method. So everything is going to be properly give directed to the particular persons by formulating the clear objectives. So this is the last need, that is direction. And next we have type of research objectives. So in that we have two types. First one we call it as a general objective. The second one we call it as a specific objective. So general objective. So what is general objective? So by the name you might be understanding general means what. So in this objective we are going to write a broad goal, that or general goal that you want to or the researcher want to achieve at the end of the study. So in this the objectives will be formulated in the general terms. Specific. So in this specific, more specifically or more narrowed down of the general objectives will be done in this specific objectives. So one more thing that you have to understand, that general objectives are broken down into small objectives that we call as a specific objective. When the specific objective is attained or achieved by the person, then obviously then after that, the general objective also going to be achieved by the person. Okay. So this is one example that we are going to learn about how to write a general objective and the specific objective. So we have one statement. You can see the statement that a quasi-experimental study on the effect of poverty on education among selected cities in India. So in that, how you're going to write the general objective, you can see how we have to write the general objective. So in this, to assess the effect, just as effect of the poverty on education among to whom you want to do it. This is the general objective. You can see in the specific more narrow it down. So in that first, to to determine the prevalence of the poverty among the people. And next one is to identify the relationships of the poverty with the age or other selective demographic variables. So this is the specific objectives. So once the specific objectives are fulfilled by the researcher, uh, and then automatically they will also fulfill the general objectives. And next one is method of stating the objectives. So how we have to state the objectives. So next first one is the objectives should be presented very briefly and it should be concisely. Okay. And next one is the objectives should be cover the different aspects of the problems and each contributing factor in the logical sequence that we have to do it. And next one is the object should clearly define or phrase the operational terms or the variables that we are going to use. This will be helping in specifically understand what the researcher is going to do, in where the person is or researcher is going to conduct the research, and for what purpose the person is going to do the particular research. That should be understandable. Next one is the objective should be realistic, okay, considering the local conditions. Next one is make sure when you formulate the research objectives, you have to use some verbs, okay. So what are the verbs that you are going to use? You can see these are the various types, various verbs that we can use. So list, count, we can use to count, to define, to describe, to draw, to identify, level, to list down, to match it. Okay, so these all we can write. So these are the lists that we have. Anyone you can choose and you can write it. Okay, so once again we are going to see one more example how to formulate the research objective. So in that we have statement that is a study on the development of socioeconomic scale for a community residing in Mayur New Delhi. So what is the general objectives? In that generally the researchers want to develop a socioeconomic skill. That's it. That is the general objective. So specific objective in that we have to again break it down. So in that first one is to select and validate the items that going to be measured as socioeconomic status. Sorry, socioeconomic scale. And the second one is again the person to study the feasibility and reliability order of socioeconomic scales as per guidelines. So this is the specific objectives. So for the nursing, mostly we don't write the general objectives. You can just write a specific objectives. So that's it for today's class, that is regarding the research objective. So thank you so much for listening or for seeing my video.